Hi, now we will learn how to convert improper fractions into decimals. So previously, we already learned how to convert improper fractions with denominator 10 or 100 into decimals. So let's just do a quick recap. There are two possible methods to go about doing this. So firstly, let's say I want to convert 15 tenths into decimals. Okay, there are two possible ways for me to do this. So firstly, I can convert this improper fraction into a mixed number. So this will be 1 and 5/10. Why do I want to do this? This is so that I can immediately separate my wholes and parts, such that when I write it into a decimal, I will separate my ones and my tenths and hundreds. Okay, so now I have the mixed number 1 whole and 5/10. This means that I have 1 1 and 5/10. Okay, now the second method is actually a lot faster, but we need to be able to calculate it mentally. So it will be best if you can use method 1 so that we don't make any careless mistakes. However, if you are really pressed for time or you're really quick in your thinking, it is possible for you to use method 2. So how does method 2 work? Basically, we need to convert in our head that 15 tenths is actually 10 tenths plus 5/10. And if we look at the words in pink, we know that 10/10 is 1 1 plus 5/10. So I know that it's 1 1 and 5/10. So I can do this without converting anything into a mixed number. Okay, but this is only recommended if you are very confident in your mental calculations. If not, method 1 will always be the safer option. Now let's try a second question. So let's say now I want 246 hundredths. I want to convert this into a decimal. Okay, for 246 hundredths, okay, I can do what I did just now and convert this into a mixed number. So in this case, it will be 2 wholes and 46 hundredths. If you remember how to convert mixed numbers, we know that this is 2 ones. 46 hundredths is the same as 4 tenths and 6 hundredths. So my answer, 2.46. Method 2, I can do the same thing. So how it works is that in my head, I need to be able to mentally calculate that. 246 hundredths. So now it's hundreds because my denominator is 100. Okay, this is actually 24 tenths and 6 hundredths. Which is 2 ones, 4 tenths, and 6 hundredths. See how this is a lot more complicated if we're not able to do this mentally quickly? Hence, it is always the safer option to choose method 1. But if you are very confident in your conversion and renaming, you can consider method 2 once you're familiar enough with method 1. Okay, so 2 ones, 4 tenths, and 600 gives me 2.46 as well. So either method will give you the same answer. So it's up to your preference. Let's look at the next question. Let's say now I want 17/5. Now, if you notice, my denominator is a 5. However, I only learned how to convert a fraction with denominator 10 or 100 into a decimal. So what I should do, I should also try to convert my denominator in this case. For method 1, I will first convert it into a mixed number. 17/5 is 3 and 2/5 in a mixed number. Okay, now I want to convert the fraction part into another fraction, an equivalent fraction with denominator 10. So let's say I have 3. To be equivalent, I need to multiply by 2 on the numerator and denominator to get 4/10. And this is 3 wholes and 4/10, which is 3 ones and 4/10. For method 2, for the same improper fraction, 17/5, basically what I do is I just convert it into an equivalent improper fraction, so I don't use a mixed number at all. So I still want denominator 10, so I'll multiply my denominator by 2, which means I need to multiply my numerator by 2. So here comes the problem for some of us, because some of us are not able to multiply such big numerators without doing some working. So it's perfectly fine for you to do working. However, this ends up being more time consuming than method 1. So if I were to do working, I can take 17 times 2. So 7 times 2 is 14. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. So I have 34. Okay, so this is perfectly fine. It's mathematically correct. However, it's just more time consuming. So now I have 34 tenths. This is the same as taking 30 tenths plus 4 tenths, which is 3 ones plus 4 tenths. Okay, so 3 ones and 4 tenths. Let's look at one more example. Let's say now I have 51 out of 20. So like what I did for the previous cases for method 1, I will convert it into a mixed number. In this case, that will be 2 wholes, 11 out of 20. Then I need to convert the fraction part into either denominator 10 or 100. So in this case, of course, I can't convert it into denominator 10. So I have to convert it to denominator 100, which means I need to multiply my numerator and denominator by 5. So this is what I get, 55 hundredths. Okay, then I know that this is 2 wholes, which is 2 ones. 55 hundredths is 5 tenths and 5 hundredths. Now let's try doing the same fraction for method 2. Okay, so in this case, remember, I don't want to have a mixed number, so I will just convert it directly. But as you can see, some of us are going to struggle with multiplying such big numbers in our heads. So we have to do some working. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 tenths times 5 is 25. So I'll end up with 255 hundredths. Okay, so 255 hundredths is 25 hundredths. Sorry, 250 hundredths plus 500, which is 25 tenths plus 500, which is actually 2 ones plus 5 tenths plus 500. And that is how I get 2.55. So if you look at this, compared to looking at just mixed numbers, okay, I can use two different methods, but for each of them, my denominator still has to be 100 or 10. So here is 10, here's 100. So for method 1, we'll be using mixed number. For method 2, we're just using improper fraction. With either denominator 10 or denominator 100.